Hi there, Rebecca Koffler here with Censored But Not Silenced, and we are going to continue our special on the 2025 mayoral election in New York City, and specifically on the dangers of Zohran Mamdani becoming the next mayor of New York City, the financial capital of the entire world, the capitalist of the symbol of capitalism, rather, the capitalist center of the world, and the symbol of not only the free nation of America, but the freedom in general of the world. So today's episode is going to be dedicated to me explaining to you the key to beating Comrade Mamdani in this election, thus preventing him from becoming mayor and therefore preventing New Yorkers, or saving New Yorkers rather, from the catastrophic consequences of this radical communist becoming our mayor. Today's outline is the following. First, I'm going to give you the bluff, or as we refer to it in the intelligence community, bottom line up front. I will give you the facts underlying my intelligence assessment, and I will explain why you should believe me. First and foremost, some context. We just held the second and final debate on Tuesday, October 22nd, where all of the candidates had an opportunity to present their views. Obviously, Comrade Mamdani did, Andrew Comer, and Curtis Sliwa. Alarmingly, very alarmingly, in the aftermath of the debates, here are the odds for Comrade Mamdani winning the election. 89% chance. That's what Comrade Mamdani has as his odds of becoming mayor. Here comes the bluff. To prevent the New York City, my adopted hometown, but which I deeply care and I love, from suffering these catastrophic consequences of the city falling into the hands of a radical communist, Zohran Mamdani, we must do two things. First, we must show up. New Yorkers must show up for this election. And number two, we must vote for Andrew Comer. In my previous podcast, I already explained why it is advisable, even for Republicans, to vote Comer. And I'm going to continue tracking numbers, and I will give you an update or any kind of nuances or updated analysis, whether that assessment still holds true, that Comer is potentially going to save the day. Not to say that he is going to be a great mayor. He will not. He hasn't been. He did some terrible things during the pandemic, the COVID-19 pandemic, but his best characteristic is that he's not Mamdani. He's the lesser of the evil. So the early voting is starting on Saturday, which is tomorrow, October 25th. The polls are going to open at 9 a.m. and will close at 5. And if there's any changes to my analytic line that Cuomo will save us from Mamdani, I will issue another update. Otherwise, these are the two things that we must do: show up and vote Cuomo. Historically, so now I'm going to give you the rationale for this bluff. Historically, New York City has one of the lowest vote turnout rates among major cities in the United States. Okay? In fact, it hovers between 6 and 9%. Only one other city in America tops New York City as far as the lowest turnout. It's Dallas, Texas. Sometimes it's El Paso, Texas. Sometimes it's Dallas, Texas. But New York City is basically the 49th state, or second from the bottom in terms of the turnout. Okay? The reason why it hovers between 6 and 9, why there's no one definitive one single number, is because the numbers are tracked across different elections, congressional, mayoral, presidential, etc. So what that means is that only as few as 20% of active registered voters bother to ever cast a ballot in New York City. Okay? Which in turn translates into the following: that only between 6 and 9% of entire population of New York City decide the fate for the rest of us. 6%, as little as 6%, decide the fate for the rest of us. This is why the key is to turn out, show up, get off your butt, get off your couch, show up. Here are the facts. We're going to analyze, and I will explain to you the analytics, or the methodology behind this research after I give you the facts. But the math that I'm going to go through right now is going to be the math for the 2021 New York City mayoral election. Okay? At that time, just as right now, the total population, well, actually, let me just give you the most recent population number of New York City as of December 2022 is 8.5 million. That is the number that we're going to use for the 2021, because the changes, at least in those eligible to vote, were minimal. So we're going to use that number. So the voter turnout in the 2021 New York City mayoral election was 21 to 23%. That's how many people casted the ballot. So here comes the math. I'm gonna just give you a snapshot so that you can take a look at it. But basically, 1.15 million people voted in 2021, which translates to 13.5% of the total population who casted a ballot. Eric Adams won with 66% of the vote. So we're going to plug that into the numbers. And that basically translates to 760,000 votes, or approximately 9% of the total population. So 9% decided the fate of the rest of the New Yorkers. this is a real, genuine crisis of participation in what supposedly is a democracy in America, right? So that's the reason that we must turn out. The second data point that I would like to give you is the concentration of Republican voters in New York City and the areas where they are. Because if everyone turns out, yes, Mamdani has an incredible following. Mostly it's young people and those who are brainwashed in the extremely liberal universities. There are most of them in the country, tragically. He has enormous following of those and retirees and those that get paid to show up in all of these protests and rallies, paid by the George Soros's foundations and all of those people who want to destroy America by installing a communist radical as New York City mayor, and obviously in other cities in the United States. But we're having a hard time right now to convince Republicans to vote for Cuomo for obvious reasons. He has tremendous shortcomings, but the math simply does not add up. Right now, one day prior to the elections for Curtis Sliwa, he's at the bottom of the pack, and so a vote for Sliwa is effectively a vote for Mamdani. So, but if every Republican shows up, we do have a chance, and there are plenty of Republicans in New York City. Yes, here they are. Staten Island is a Republican stronghold. New York City has the most Republican, it is the most Republican borough, with 37.8% of registered voters identify as Republican. We also have Southern Brooklyn that has Republicans, very substantial Republican concentration, particularly in the Borough Park, where we have plenty of Orthodox Jewish neighborhoods who tend to vote Republican, in the Bay Ridge area. Queens also has Republicans, the most Republicans in absolute numbers, approximately 115,000, though they're kind of scattered all across the borough, with the concentrations in Howard Beach, Middle Village, and Breezy Point. And additional pockets are also included in Glendale, Forest Hills, Douglaston, Whitestone, and College Point, as well as Broad Chapel. There are, in fact, some Republicans in Manhattan proper, especially in the Upper East Side. Although the rest of Manhattan is pretty Democratic, heavily Democratic. And there are a few neighborhoods in the Bronx, even that lean Republicans, like Throgs Neck, for example. But in overall, the Bronx has the smallest percentage of Republicans, as little as 9.3%. So overall, New York City-wide, only 26% of New York City's registered voters identify as Republicans, and most of them are in Staten Island. So, why should you believe me? Two reasons. I am a former intelligence officer with DIA, so I am very skilled in the tradecraft of intelligence analysis, which I apply here in my research. And to be more specific, what I've used, I'm good at math, but I've enhanced my math skills with artificial intelligence, AI, specifically using Claude AI by Anthropics, which is considered to be the top AI tool on the market right now. And so what I asked Claude to do is to scan all of the authoritative sources available to get all the data on the from authoritative sources such as government databases, New York City Election Board, etc., and other publicly available information, and then just basically mash it all up and do its data analytics magic and give me the summary. So feel pretty confident in this, and then I cross-referenced it with some of the other writings in authoritative non-government sources. So, what do we need to do? Call to action is turn out. That's the one extremely important thing. New Yorkers must turn out to vote, as I said, and vote Comer at this point. As I said, the early voting starts tomorrow on Saturday, and it's going to run through November 2nd. The election day is November 4th, and here's the schedule for you with all of the times and the dates. So October 25th through 27th, 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. October 28th, 29th, 30th. 28th and 29th, 10 a.m. to 8 p.m. 30th is 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. October 31st, Friday, 8 a.m. to 4 p.m. November 1st and November 2nd, 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. But I'm certain you can find all of this information just by Googling. You don't even need Claude AI for that. Hopefully, y'all will do the right thing, New Yorkers, and hopefully we are not going to end up with the radical, extremist, communist Comrade Mamdani. No workers and peasants paradise for New York City. Thank you for listening. Rebecca Coughlin here with Censored But Not Silenced. I am on most social media platforms: X, formerly Twitter, YouTube, Facebook, Truth Social, Getter, Rumble. Please follow me, and I'll catch you later. Thank you for tuning in today.